Oh, g'day guys. Thought I might pop up a harness preview with the afternoon time slot today on Friday. So we've got a 4 o'clock start. It's actually a very good time slot. When you think about it, Friday Arvo, people in pubs, etc. So hopefully the pools stand up. We've got a couple of heats of the Globe Derby, which for those out of the know is the Tasbred for 3-year-old colts and geldings, named after one of the Edgar Tatlow stallions in Globe Derby. Also had Raider. Obviously, and Harjeet won the Raider Stakes last week for the 4-year-olds, named in his honour. And I won't go too much into it, but obviously nearly every Tasmanian star horse can draw a line directly from those stallions. You know, like Howes, Golden Alley, etc., etc. So, and when people wonder about why at one stage there, Tasmania used to produce at least the same quality as anywhere in the country, and that's diminished over the years. Like, only got to think between like 1920 and 1960s, with Edgar Tatlow in Tasmania stood the best stallions in the country. So, and obviously, and that's each generation that has diminished since he's left, and we finish up where we are now. So obviously, these naming rights after his stallions, very well deserved. So anyway, enough of that garbage. I don't know enough about history to prattle on about it anyway. So anyway, in the first, we've got probably the two standouts here in Isaiah. I've actually just got the Bet365 odds here. I might just obviously, they're generally not the best guide, but the remainder tend to follow suit off them anyway, so we might start there. So if we're looking here, Isaiah 145, feeling dusty, $3. I think it's ridiculously short, 145, deserves favouritism. If you reverse the barriers, you would reverse favouritism. He's got always looked like turning into a good horse. He had legitimate excuses in the Derby, sort of set outside a pretty hot tempo and tied late. Actually, just noticed this is pretty weird. Race 1's Heat 2 and Race 7's Heat 1. It seems a bit strange, but anyway. And the one thing here with feeling dusty as well that's a slight concern is that there's driver change with Mark Yole taking over. Nothing against Mark at all, but he just doesn't look the easiest horse to drive. But his last win, he beat a very handy 4-year-old in CW Grant who had every conceivable chance to run him down. So he's going to be no walkover, so I'd be loath to take the shorts of Isaiah. You would think one of the two wins it. Mr. Last, been very good in both career runs. Looked as if he was probably going to win on debut when broke on the turn, and then bolted in his next start, running good time. Maybe Jack's trial well, wasn't far behind the other two in his 2-year-old campaign, and Ideal Crowd is super honest from the pole, and the race falls away pretty quickly after them. So if you're playing exotics, pretty comfortable leaving out Pessimistic, Shadow Ross, Flashy Ruler. I think the first 4 comes out of the others, but got Isaiah on top, but backing him's another thing. So the second is the Bandbox, which is the 3-year-old fillies version of the Tasbred, named after a Tasmanian Dominion winning mare in Bandbox. Couple of standouts here as well. He got Nostra Beach from that great Tasmanian family, produced the likes of Village M, Cody Maverick. Even in recent times, out of Pixel Perfect, out of the same family, you've had Soho Tribeca, numerous other sort of superstar horses. So good to see the family's virtually lost to Tasmania now, but Nostra Beach back to contest it. Definitely the best performed filly. Ideal Bliss got plenty on the locals as well. You imagine Ideal Bliss probably settles in front. And being a prelude, deserves favouritism, Nostra Beach, but from barrier 8 and whether they treat it like a trial or not, you know, you wouldn't take $1.30 in a fit. But yeah, so you think obviously she's probably a good thing in the final, but backing her in the heat's another thing. Probably another look-on affair. Of the rest, I think Bermuda's clear third pick, and Jeanette Barry's pretty honest, tends to race best on the smaller tracks, and when she actually can lead, she's a bit of a free running type. So yeah, so race does follow pretty quickly, so might leave that one there. The third is for the CO to C1s over the 2200. It's a bit of depth in the race with most of the chances drawn the second row. In Bigsy Neptune resuming, looked quite promising last time in work. Streetside Classic, super honest. Mom Poppy Polly was good in the Granny Smith final at Devonport last week. And To the Rescue actually ran a much improved race last time. If it was over a mile, I'd probably tip To the Rescue, but the 2200 leads me to the ones off the second row. Streetside Classic, he doesn't win out of turn, but he's just super honest, so forced to pick one. If we just have a look at his form, like if we look at that, oops, if you just have a look there, like it's probably only 4 or 5 times he hasn't run top 4 in the last sort of 30 or 40 runs, so, but there's only 2 wins in there as well, so that's the one query, but you know he'll just keep coming to the line, so got him top pick, no degree of confidence. The fourth is for the C2 to 4s. Once again, the major chances drawn the back row with the exception of Striker, who was super last time, smashed the clock late. Got the Jermaine Ram, not too shy to pronounce the name. Is a slight concern, like the drive on Go GG in Hobart last week wasn't exactly textbook. So, but he's certainly going well enough to win though. Buster William does look very well graded. Gets back into very winnable race, like we're chasing home, Harjeet, etc. And you know, and he can do work in his races. So you imagine even over the mile, he'll be right in it. Mr. Magic Man's like figure form obviously shows exactly how well he's going, but you know, drawn 5 off the second row over the mile, taking on a couple of in-form horses who have drawn better. Bit of an arse for mine, but can definitely still win. And Chasing Cheetah is another one who'll probably appreciate being driven sit sprint this week after being declared on by the aforementioned Go GG last time. So I think those 4 look clearly the ones. Thilston King's super honest as well, so probably the next one. So, but forced to pick one, I'd go Buster William, but once again I'm not. So I probably won't be betting much at all in the first 4 races. So the 5th is the Golden Mile for the free-for-allers. And it's a pretty even affair. If we have a look at the market, we've got Roger Ramjet, who won in near track record time last time at $2.10 drawn inside the second row. That's just ridiculous. You know, not potting, definitely win, but that's just absurd. Caller Julie, you know, she probably lacks the tactical speed of a couple of them, but she'll go forward early and she'll just keep going. No Spring Secrets, back to the mile, suits him a lot better as he speed's his greatest asset. And from the good draw, obviously right in the mix. Mr. Lennox, I think he won this race last year, and he's probably not going as well, but still never far away. There's one here, Modern Ruler, like $26 just seems ridiculous odds. We might just have a look at the replay of his last run, which is actually taking on a lot of the aforementioned horses.
This is the stand.
So So he drew 5. So here he is here. You can see he has a bit of a look early and then goes back and has to go all the way back. So here's Caller Julie, Mr. Lennox inside her, and she works to the front. And here's Modern Ruler, and if we look through, we've got Roger Ramjet here. Retro colours. So we'll just sort of scroll through to the last lap, and it's actually a super drive here by Gareth Rattray on Modern Ruler. He goes through the middle. And we've got No Spring Secrets here, 3 back the inside. Roger Ramjet outside him. And Caller Julie's drifted off the fence here in front. So, and obviously they're the 3 favourites. And here's Modern Ruler. Well, we're getting $26 him. It's a super drive. Like if he stayed wide, he would have the widest runner, so he saved a lot of ground. He does get held up. So, as I said, so we've got Mr. Lennox here. So he just got balked there. He would have finished a couple of metres closer. Roger Ramjet. It's Isaac out wide. So if we just pause it, almost at the finish, we've got these, with the exception of Isaac on the outside, we've got Roger Ramjet, Caller Julie, No Spring Secrets, Modern Ruler, and here's Mr. Lennox here. So they're the top 5 favourites in the race. And if we just have a look at this market, like you've got $4.50, $5.50, $3.60, $2.10 and $26. So I think I'm staying the old Western say, even though he's drawn 11 over the mile, $26 is well worth a few coins when we look at where they've all finished there. And it's very arguable he should have finished a metre or 2 closer if he got clear running at the top of the straight as well. So, now happy to have a throw at the stumps. I doubt we'll get the $26. We'll even sort of something about half that. I think still very backable. So, yeah. So something on Modern Ruler in race 5. Obviously from the draw you can't go overboard, but it's all about value, so I think we could do far worse. In the 6th, 2200 for the COs. I was actually pretty keen Master Leon early on. The more I look at it, I do wish it was over a mile. He did strike a very weak race last time, but did go very well. Adele said's just super honest, and it's the easiest race she struck in a while. Real Diamond's definitely got the speed to win, but he's not exactly the bravest animal in the world. And Origin Tara, she's been very good in the mares races at Devonport, so, and should appreciate the return to the bigger track. So, and if they do overdo things, and you've got a couple here, Jimmy Depanda, he'll be on speed, whacking away, never too far away. 7th Legend's always shown some ability. North Star Lad, drops in grade, been taking on the best 4-year-olds in the state. But so Master Leon's the one here. If we just might go have a look at his last run. So look, I'm pretty keen. As I said, I might be going mad. He's been unplaced his past 10 starts. So, but if we just have a look at his last run.
$8.
So he drew barrier 5. You can see the yellow saddlecloth. Oh, barrier 6, sorry. And so he doesn't get in early. He has to go all the way back to last. And they dead set walk. And this is a mile race. And you have a look here, they're just jog trotting. And here he is here. Stone Motherless last. Yeah, you got no hope in a mile race. So I might just let it roll from here. He did run the quickest sections of the race, last 400 metre split. You know, he had no hope from where he was, but you can see he attacks the line very well. It's a bit more depth in the race this afternoon, but you know, he's definitely going well, and I think he'll find the front tonight. So yeah, so he's run 4th there. Nat Lemry's a good driver of leaders. If you can see, like, taking on the likes of Ignatius, obviously he's the best 3-year-old colt in Tasmania. Gifted Joy's arguably the best 3-year-old filly in Tasmania. You know, last time he drew the front, you know, he drew barrier 2.
On Sunday, all roads lead to the Wavenhoe Showgrounds.
So you can just see the acceleration here. Like LJ's Monza's got pretty good gate speed on the inside. Drew barrier 2 and accelerates and crosses. And he actually clipped the wheel at the bell this night. If we, whoops. So if you have a look here, he's hanging out a bit, and so that explains the finishing position. So you said, like, he's been unplaced his last 10, but you know, when I initially priced the race, I had him near favourite, but I've cooled a little, but I'm still happy to be on. As I mentioned, I think he'll lead with all the dangers drawn the second row. Adele said best perform horse in the race. I think one of those two will lead. If they go mad, Origin Tara's be the one flying home late. And as I said, Real Diamond, if things pan out, is probably the quickest horse in the race. So I think one of the 4 win. I think North Star Lad and Jimmy DePanda for exotics. So yeah, no, but happy to be on Master Leon. And in the 7th, so the way the barriers have drawn here, it's the second heat of the Globe Derby, and it's the weaker of the 2 heats. Look, 3 standouts in Dufresne, Street Kid, Beam Me Up, Chopper. Pretty, like Dufresne, I do think he goes better with a sit, but he looks certain to get a soft lead tonight. So if you cop $2, I'll be happy to launch in there. You imagine he's not going to cop too much early pressure. Like Street Kid inside the second row, you know, awful draw, but you know, on ability there's not much between them. And Beam Me Up Chopper, I think he's a very good horse. This is just probably a preparation away, but he's just going to keep improving with racing, and he's definitely got a big motor there. So as I mentioned, like Dufresne, probably looking at the odds of the shorties, he's probably the one who maps to get the best run. But I said I'm not keen, like with showery conditions, wet. It's like it's wet and windy in Tassie. Launceston, we haven't had as much rain in Hobart. We've just had constant showers, as in no real heavy torrential rain. So we've had none of the Hobart weather that a few of you may have seen on social media. But for that reason, with the wet and windy though, I'm sort of going value hunting. So the 2 best, I'll make it Master Leon in race 6, and also add a bit of value, something on Modern Ruler in race 5. So, you know, I said, like, we'll go looking for a bit of value there. As mentioned, they've got shorties in the early races. I'm not confident enough in either of them. I said they are heats. Main priorities to qualify, and here you've got a lot of them are drawn awkwardly, so you know, probably just watch and sort of use as a measuring stick for the finals. But I think if we can manage to get one of those 2 home, it'll be a good night all the same, and we don't have to have too much on. Like, as I mentioned, we're copying $26 Modern Ruler and $6.50 Master Leon. Yeah, so imagine they both probably start a little shorter, not too much shorter than their current odds, but yeah, so we might leave it there. So I haven't done a harness preview in a while, but hopefully with the time slot we finish up with some decent pulls, and they said, like, we've got pretty capacity fields later on, so it should ensure truly run races, and that generally means the best horses get their chances. So anyway, guys, I might wrap it up there, and until, look, we'll pop something up for the gallops on Sunday, so we'll chat to you then. Cheers.